So we're doing Agni assessments. Some people we'll be able to get done today. Others we're going to do next Sunday on March 25th. I'm traveling and on the road next Sunday, so Connor and Dr. Monica Singhal are going to be there too. So whatever you're not able to finish today, we're going to try and finish next week. Okay? All right, so digestion is poor. Obviously, when we ask someone a question about poor digestion, you have so many questions, open-ended and close-ended. So first question, always you start with appetite. If someone has a good, bad, or moderate appetite, variable appetite, poor digestion. I haven't even looked at all. Gas, bloating. These are textbook signs of Vishamagni. Usually. So let's see. So poor digestion, variable appetite, low to medium energy, and gas, flatulence, bloating. Usually, because which area is this happening? Gas, flatulence, bloating is happening in the area where Samanavayu, let me write that down. And of course, acid reflux would be, a heartburn acid reflux would be more pitta. So it would be more pachat pitta. All right, I see some questions there. Yeah, well, flatulence is when you're passing flatus, and gas can, is built up and it's not been passed yet, which is what causes the heaviness. So when someone is, let's say when someone's digestion is poor, so after eating, usually they will feel a little bloated after eating if they have an issue with gas flatulence. In this case, this person is not heavy after eating, but has gas and or flatulence. So I would say it is nothing to do with, usually it goes together, the heaviness, gas, and flatulence, because the samanavata is, and the sleepiness does not go together, the heaviness. So we'll examine this further to find out exactly what is happening, right? Let me just save this for you. So now we go and examine this further. So there's no heaviness, but there's gas. So gas is air and space, flatulence is air and space, variable is due to vata. So we know some vata is going on. So let's see. Bowel movements are regular or irregular. Now, normally if someone is Vishamagni or it's not regular. So in this case, the gas and flatulence, some vata disturbance is there, but are they, so in here, I would want to ask the question, do they take something for bowel movements? That is my question. So especially when somebody is prone to constipation, gas, flatulence, variable appetite, they have Vishamagni. But right now the bowel movements are regular. That means either their diet is good or they're taking some kind of supplement to make it regular. So the actual question to ask here would be, are your bowel movements regular when you are not taking any supplements? And the answer would be no, irregular. Does that make sense? Or the answer would be depends on what I eat. Is there more information you can give me, Waki? Because if someone is prone to constipation, gas, flatulence, variable appetite, they will, oh, then it is not irregular. So yeah, that's another thing. So, some people they think going once in 2 days or even going once in 3 days is a normal thing because it has been happening with them for so many years, 9, 10 years, even 20 years, that they think that is normal. But that is not normal. If a person does not have one bowel movement a day, that is not normal. So in this case, which is why I said that doesn't make sense. In this case, this is irregular. That is the correct one. Yeah. So if it's every 2 days, then it's irregular. First thing in the morning is good. Or sometimes after dinner. Stools are usually medium. And yeah, So this is Vishamagni. Does it make sense now that this is Vishamagni, irregular Vata type? So the Agni assessment for this person, yeah, so the reason the Agni assessment is Vishama or variable for this person is because appetite is variable, prone to constipation. And one thing you would ask is, right now the stools are medium, but if a Vata person gets really disturbed, let's say they get sick or they were traveling or some traumatic event happened, or even they got cold or flu or something, then immediately the consistency of the stool will go from medium to hard or variable. So that is another thing you will see. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's variable, because it goes with the quality of that. Whereas you will never see, for a kapha person, you will tend to see soft to medium. You will never see hard stools. It will be difficult for a kapha person to have a hard stool unless maybe they were on some kind of medication that made it hard. So this is done. You understand this is so. In such a case, can you think of what is it that you are going to give? What is it that you will give to somebody with variable Agni to help with this, so they can have one bowel movement a day? And while you're writing that down, I'm going to pull up Antonia's. Mm-hmm. You could have a kapha person with a vata type. So because she's kapha, that's why the consistency of her stool is a little medium. If she was a pure kapha, then the consistency would be soft. Yes. So this is a vata kapha. So giving triphala, with hot water would be very good every single night, or even before meals. Let me write that. Triphala with hot or warm water. This should help. So, it'll take a couple of days, and it should be at least 1,500 to 2,000 milligram of triphala for the first few weeks. And the reason why I'm saying that, sometimes you only get 250 milligrams of triphala. That's not going to do anything for constipation. You need a much larger, just for a few, till it gets regular. So, there's planetary Ayurveda, there is Maharishi. So get 750 twice, or 1,000 milligram twice a day with hot water, as hot as they can. I mean, when I say hot, I mean it should not be burning, but it should be, it should feel like a nice warm soup on the tongue. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to bring up Antonia. You did so many. So I just shared one of those. You shared quite a few Agni assessments. I cannot go through all of them today, but I've just picked up one. Okay. Yeah, I mean, and I'll count all of that towards your client encounters. So this is a client encounter. So this Agni assessment you did was a client encounter. So it goes towards, so your total client encounters you're going to have is 5050, right? Including some that you will do with us when you come for the internship. So this is going to count towards it. So if you've done 6, you just need 44 more. So herein you've put a question mark. You can unmute yourself, Antonia, and talk to me, no problems. And
okay.
Okay.
I'm here.
So tell me about this thing, this person.
Yeah, the question mark was because I could not, she was asking, what do you mean with good, fair, or poor? And I cannot answer the question because I wasn't sure what you mean with having, I don't know if my digestion, if I'm making a good digestion, if it's good or fair or poor.
That's a good question. And there will be times when your client. So in Ayurveda, when we talk about good digestion, meaning do you have regular bowel movements? Again, the same thing. Good means regular bowel movements, ideally in the morning or even twice a day, without fail. And you have a decent appetite. I mean, for your body type. That means you have a good digestion. You have a bowel movement every day. and sometimes twice a day, no matter what, and you have a decent appetite. Obviously, this appetite in a pitta person is going to be much more sharp, in kapha less, in vata even, variable. But you'd get hungry. You have that urge of getting hungry. So that's a good appetite. And poor would be when, like, this person, Vaki's client, was having only once in 2 days he was going. So that would be a poor appetite. A poor appetite, it would be a poor bowel movement. So that is poor digestion. That's what we mean by poor, good, and fair.
Okay, in the for the appetite, I do have a question here. Strong, moderate, mild, or variable. Our, is that means that when you are hungry, are very hungry, you can eat a lot, or that means that you're hungry all the time?
Yes, that means you're hungry all the time. So, example, I don't know if any of you are pitta here, and if anybody is a pitta, you can. So, if a pitta person is, they basically metabolize the carbohydrates and the glucose in their body very, very fast. So, let's say they have breakfast at 7:30 or 8 a.m. in the morning. By 10 o'clock, they have already digested that and they're hungry again. And so maybe they need to either have a bigger breakfast, or they're going to munch on some almonds or something. By the time it's like 12 o'clock, if they do not have their lunch exactly at 12, they'll start feeling, they'll be very hungry, and they'll start feeling irritable, and even start getting some acid reflux, or their body is not going to, they might start producing a lot of pachak pitta. And so it's, I think the term here would be hyperglycemic, because they're using up the glucose in their body and metabolizing whatever they have. For example, they have breakfast at 7:30, they've already have a bowel movement by 11:30, and then they have their lunch, they have another bowel movement by 4 5 p.m., then they have dinner, and they might have another bowel movement after dinner, or early in the morning. So they would have a very strong appetite, and the hunger is very strong, that if they don't eat, they're going to break something, kind of that situation. And they cannot miss meals. So that would be a strong one. Moderate, and I'll go straight to the mild. Mild would be usually a kapha person who if they miss a meal, it's not like a big deal. Like a lot of kaphas, they'll tell you, I don't feel hungry in the morning, so I straight away have a brunch or a lunch. That is kind of normal, because they do not have an appetite, because their body is dull and in the morning. So for example, not now, but most of my life being a kapha, um, I don't have an appetite till like 10 o'clock, or 10 is when I have my little breakfast. So that would be normal for them. So mild. And then 2 meals a day, no need of snacking. Even if you miss meal, it's not going to cause problems. That would be mild. Moderate would be somewhere in the very strong and mild, that you feel hunger, and it's a strong hunger, but it's not that you're going to go and start getting irritable. And person with moderate appetite will not have acid reflux. They will not be having 3 to 4 to 5 bowel movements a day. So they are not digesting their food and getting hungry every few hours, because their body is literally, the people with pitta are literally burning up that. And then the variable is, one day they're so hungry, oh, I'm so hungry, I can eat a horse. And next day they don't have an appetite at all.
Yeah, I remember there was an interesting that she said that when she was at home all day, she would be hungry all the time. But if she was busy out working or shopping all day, she would forget about even eating.
So
But there
that
was
that
kind
is
of
interesting, Antonia, because if it was a pitta woman or a pitta man and they're shopping and busy, they will still go and find something to eat, because they need to eat, because their body is digesting. But if it's a kapha person and they're shopping or they're busy, they can forget to eat, or not a problem. But even if a pitta is busy, they still need to eat or drink something to calm down their appetite. Does it make sense? We have some pitta here.
yes, yes.
Okay. Uh, Energy is variable. So, do you feel heavy? No. Do you feel sleepy? Yes. So, usually we'll feel sleepy after eating if you're eating kapha increasing foods. So what usually, something that doesn't, I won't say, I don't want to use the word allergy, but something just takes a little bit more time in our body to digest. Then we feel sleepy. And usually sleepy and heavy may go together or may not. Um, gas, okay. Let me save this for you. Do your bowel movements tend to be regular? Yes. That means she goes every single day, once daily, okay. And first thing in the morning. Stools are usually either soft or variable. So this is almost like a kapha, you know, this could happen, soft, regular once is usually a kapha thing. However, the consistency is variable. So I would say something else is going on. What was the prakriti of this person?
I think, yeah, it was, but I don't have the numbers here in front of me, but she was a bata person with a pita and a kapha very, not too far away equally. I had to look for.
Do you think she takes, because she's getting regular bowel movements and she does not, let's see, she does not get, you haven't written the Mala Pariksha here. Does she ever get, she never gets constipated. So usually cough, this sounds more like her digestion is mandagani and but she might be taking something for bowel movements. For example, she might be taking fiber or inulin or some kind of stool softener or something that makes the stool soft. Because if it's a vata person and they have vishamagni, the only way they have a soft stool and they're regular is that they're taking some supplement.
Yeah, I asked her about that, and she said that she was not taking anything, but she can definitely feel that whatever she was eating the day before, it was kind of determined the stool, the how she was going to the bathroom the next morning based on what she was eating, but she was not taking any supplements for it.
Yeah, so I would say if that is the case, then she's probably not a pure vata, she's probably vata pitta.
Okay,
Because,
okay,
yeah, then it kind of goes with what her, um, yeah, because this seems more like mandagani to me. you know
okay,
Mandagani is usually one bowel movement a day, sometimes sluggish or sleepy or heavy after eating. And appetite is kind of dull, not big, not, it's kind of a slow thing. And it's soft, the not as soft as a pitta, but between soft to medium. So seems like she has mandagani
okay.
to me. So she is Vata person, but from this, it seems like Mandagini. But for me to really know that, we would need to fill that bigger form, because then we need to ask a lot more questions. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop share and
Okay, so with this client, they definitely had good digestion. It seemed like their prakriti was kapha pitta, and it's still the same. I think a bit more pitta now, but um, and they have strong appetite, kind of needs to eat at 10 a.m., like you said, after eating a breakfast. But it's really mild during times of stress when their job is very stressful. That seemed to play a big role in it. Um, Energy is variable, also has to do with their job that seemed to really bother them. When they eat heavily, when they overeat, like if they have a big dinner, then they feel heavy, but otherwise they feel fine, and their digestion's really fast. They don't feel sleepy, again, because the digestion's really fast. They have some gas, not really flatulence. Like he said that he had some, I didn't circle acid reflux. They said that they used to have that, but they don't so much anymore. But they do have some bloating.
yeah, let's have you circle that too, because sometimes acid reflux and bloating can go together.
Okay, even if they're not suffering from it right now, I
No,
guess.
no,
Okay.
no, because he might be taking something for the acid reflux.
Okay.
So in this case, when we are doing an Agni assessment, we have someone who tends to suffer from, let's say, acid reflux or one of these things, but they're taking something. They're taking some herbal pill or something the physician gave them, but now they're okay. But we want to know what is their Agni without supplements.
Okay. All right. I think at one point they took medicine for it, and they don't now. I don't know. I didn't ask too much about that, but they definitely have reflux sometimes. I should have circled that. I don't know how to edit that right now.
That's okay. I can do it. I can do it. Hang on a second.
um,
Uh, let's see. Done.
okay, thanks. This person stopped drinking alcohol. It's been months. It
Good for
really,
them.
yeah, they quit. I think 6 or so months ago, and it's been a huge improvement. And their pitta has decreased. Then they don't drink soda. When they have pizza, tomato sauces, pasta, it gives them heartburn and diarrhea.
This is very textbook case of Tikshnagani, isn't it?
It very much is. It was a
Yeah,
little too easy.
it is easy. But one thing is because you mentioned, I mean, look at everything. The things that cause discomfort in a pitta are alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Yogurt is considered sour. Tomato sauce is considered sour.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure why skim milk, because milk with cream is more, it pacifies pitta, the cream portion. I guess that's why skim.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if that person was drinking a lot of alcohol and stopped, so even if they've stopped from Ayurvedic perspective, we want to help the liver detoxify.
Mm-hmm.
So
what would I advise?
you could advise something that cleanses the liver. For example, a diet, you could give some bitter greens like kale, spinach, dandelion, and if they're open to herbs, you could do amla, or you could do guduchi. Let me write that down here.
Okay.
So these things would help, just almost like a preemptive measure. We're trying to get because the effect of alcohol will last for years on the liver, even if you stop doing it. So we really want, and amla and guruchi are the top things in detoxifying the liver. Dandelion is another thing that detoxifies the liver. Lots of kale in diet. So all of this will actually bring the pitta under control and balance it even for the future. It's something they should kind of generally do.
Okay, they did say that they crave salads.
Oh, really? There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, bitter salads are awesome. I mean, when I say bitter, kale, spinach, all those dark leafy greens. Even one of the reasons pittas like coffee is because it's bitter in taste.
And he said he loves coffee.
Yeah, there you go. Because they're craving the bitter taste. So giving that bitter will actually calm the pitta down and also detoxify. And the reason why both amla berry and guduchi is that they actually not only detoxify, amla will detoxify the stomach also, but guduchi and amla will strengthen the liver as well as help it detoxify of whatever nonsense is still getting rid of it. So it takes a while for body to get rid of it.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so regular bowel movements. They said that sometimes they have one large BM if they've eaten salad, like a good lunch. And that, I don't know if that's their kapha coming out or.
Seems like it's a kapha pitta person or pitta kapha.
Yeah.
Isn't Agni assessment awesome? Because just looking at this, you know everything.
Yep. I tried not to ask probing questions.
You'll have to get used to asking them at some point. But right now, this is fantastic.
Okay, so yeah, coffee in the morning, first thing in the morning, right away. Yeah, and stools are soft medium. They've been better
Yes.
since they stopped drinking alcohol.
And this is a very textbook case of pitta. Let me go and ask. I'm going to save this for you. So
Thanks.
otherwise, actually, I'm going to request remote. Can you give that to me?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to save the screen here. All right, saved. Okay, so that's good. I hope that would help. That was good. So how was the experience? It was good?
Yeah, it was great. I didn't really know what was going to happen, so I learned a lot, and I learned a lot after you telling me what to advise because I didn't really know what to say.
Yeah, no, this is why, before we used to have students do the Prakriti Vikriti instead of Agni, and then Agni we would have them do, 5 or 6 months down the line. And
Mhm.
then over a period of couple of years, we noticed that really they don't really we want to start Agni right from one because that's far more important. So this
Okay.
kind of tells you what is going on in their body, and half the time you can tell just from the Agni what is their Prakriti. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. So let's have Heather go now. Let me give you, thank you so much. All right. Yeah. Heather, do you want to go now?
Yes. Okay, so this is I did two assessments, and this one is actually my own personal assessment. So I don't know if that's appropriate, but I'm okay with sharing this.
All right. Tell us a little bit about what you found out.
So it was fairly easy to fill out because I know my own digestion fairly well. I am Vata, more Vata than Pitta, and very little Kapha. I always have a tendency towards constipation, and my digestion is variable, as is my energy from time to time. If I eat a big meal, I do feel heavy, and I sometimes also feel sleepy, especially after lunch. I like an afternoon nap. I do tend to be more gassy, especially when I'm aggravated. And anything that is doughy or cheesy tends to make me even feel heavier. So I had one piece of pizza the other day and I didn't poop all day.
Yeah, that is something that aggravates you, the whole
Yeah,
white flour.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bowel movements are variable. I didn't check this one off regular, irregular. I would say when I'm eating appropriately and taking care of myself, I do poop once a day. But that's not all the time. If I'm traveling again, as you mentioned, I go off cycle. It might be 2 days before I poop.
So just one thing for anybody, like if you're doing a client encounter for someone who has to travel a lot as part of their, even someone who is on the road commuting to work, to and fro, let's say 1.5 hours, 2 hours a day. You'll meet people like that, or people who are traveling once a month or twice a month for their jobs. Tell them to carry Triphala with them.
Yeah.
Tell them they should take Triphala, and they should double the amount of Triphala they take when they are traveling. And also when they're traveling, they can drink hot water, not tea or coffee. One of the things that happens when people are traveling, especially at airports, they'll tend to have the coffee and tea and the caffeine and even alcohol, which tends to dry your colon instead of you actually need to hydrate it. So hot water and Triphala would be good.
And that's currently what I'm doing is I usually drink hot or warm water all the time. And I do take Triphala every night in the dosages that you had recommended earlier.
Okay. And has it helped? Has it made it
The
regular?
Triphala makes a huge difference, yes. Usually before I started Triphala, I would do magnesium citrate at night.
Mm-hmm.
and that would help to soften my stools and help me to poop and relax my muscles.
Mm-hmm.
But now I find that I'm not taking the magnesium and I'm enjoying the Triphala instead.
Yeah, and why Triphala is so amazing is because it is actually strengthening the lining of your colon, and it's not causing that hyperperistalsis of the movement, because colon will slightly compress and have these vibration that moves the stool down, and many of these laxatives, they're just causing this hyperperistalsis and harming the lining of the colon. They're harming the villi. But what Triphala is doing is the opposite. It's actually a rasayana. Rasayana means that it strengthens the tissue as well as gently scrapes and detoxifies it. It's not causing any extra peristalsis. So it's quite fantastic. One way to soften the stool when it's constipation is not a problem is if someone is open to it. You should. I mean, you know what? Triphala is pretty safe to take every day. Usually. Yeah.
It's safe to take every day for a long period of time, Manjula?
I'm 44 and I started taking it when I was 20 or 19, and I pretty much have taken it every day.
Okay.
And I remember when I was pregnant, in my entire pregnancy, especially in the last few weeks, women tend to have constipation. I took it every single day. I even took it the night before my C-section. And and I just didn't report it, also because I was used to it. Plus I've known many people. It's very it's not like it's a laxative or anything like that. It's over a long period of time, when you're taking it for that time, it actually just really keeps your colon happy. And
Okay.
It's doesn't work as, because any kind of Ayurvedic herb, when you're taking it for a long time, it does stop being less effective. And that goes across the board for any herb, any medicine. So if, then Triphala, the function of Triphala becomes aiding other herbs and other things. For example, it'll aid probiotics, it'll aid other things in the body, because Triphala is also good for eyes. It is really, really good for conjunctivitis. It's good for all these. It starts aiding other herbs. So the idea is that you started taking Triphala just recently. You might see that 6 months down the line, it's not working as well. So in that case, you want to change the dosage or take Triphala with either hot milk or ghee or something like that.
Okay.
Because it will change. And that, as we do herbology later, it doesn't matter whether it's Ayurveda or shaman or Western herbs or even Western pharmaceuticals. Your body gets used to whatever you give it. So you have to change the dosage.
Okay. That sounds good. I look forward to the herb class a lot.
No, yeah. But the thing is, we start kind of including the herbs from day one in one sense. But yeah, so the first thing you're learning about is Triphala. And then today, so we talk about Triphala. And then, of course, good for Pitta person, Amla berry. So Amla berry is, we're talking about Triphala, I might as well. I'm just going to quickly share a whiteboard and put in some herbs for Agnis. So for Manda Agni, for Kapha type person where everything is slow, move slowly, one of the top things you can give this person is ask them to drink hot water. Top thing. It's like raw top. Avoid caffeine, obviously. Hot water. And when I say hot, I mean as hot as they can drink it. It should not be burning or anything. And they should, of course, take Triphala with honey. Do you know why? Because the Triphala will take hours and hours and hours to get to the point where it's effective for kapha. When you take it with honey and you take it with hot water, now it reaches its destination a little faster. So the delivery of Triphala is important in this case. In this case, hot water and honey is called what we called Anupana. Very quick herb lesson for you, meaning delivery of herb to its destination, which is called pharmacokinetics. In a Vishamagni, we just talked about, same Triphala. In a Vata person, you want to give, again, the person should drink warm water. If they're open to it, hot milk at night with turmeric and ghee with Triphala. In this case, if they're not open to drinking the hot milk with turmeric and ghee, just Triphala powder mixed with ghee and hot water. That would do. But not, Triphala, when you take it by itself just as a pill, it's not as effective. Ideally the best way is the powder form. The second best would be, the second way is actually taking a pill. Obviously, when you're traveling, taking a pill is easier. But if you're at home, taking Triphala powder is much better, because when you touch it on your tongue, the process starts. So Triphala is, and then made up of haritaki, vibhitaki, and amla berry. And let's talk about. And then if someone has tikshna agni, sharp agni, is a pitta person, acid reflux, then amla berry, aloe vera, coconut water, guruchi, amla berry, some of the top things. And of course, the diet, you already know, if you have to give kapha pacifying diet, vata pacifying. For vata person, you always want to add some bulk to the stool through fiber. Some people take inulin, which is, fiber you take from inside. Best is to actually eat your vegetables. But one thing that I happen to like is cognac root. You know the one I'm talking about? Does everybody know what cognac root is? It's very fibrous. Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the capsules. I'm saying there's many ways for delivery of herb. The top is, obviously, if you're doing it for yourself, there's two things. Like, I take both pills and the powder. When I am traveling and I know I have to do a class, so I'll take a pill. When I'm not traveling, I'm at home, I'll take the powder. It's very simple. It's convenience and what's available to you. And also, many people may not like the taste of it. I like the taste of it. Now, it's three phala means three fruits. Haritaki is the best herb for vata. Vibhitaki is a pretty good, one of the top herbs, not the best, but top herbs for kapha. And amla berry is the top herb for pitta. So haritaki, if you don't want to give triphala, simply giving haritaki to vata, vibhitaki to kapha, amla berry to pitta. But one thing, why am I talking so much about triphala? Because as you go and start working, we'd go on to Ayurveda and the mind, for instance, or we go into the herbology module. We'll talk about herbs like gugulu for, let's say, cholesterol. But it's hard to digest. So we give gugulu with triphala. Everything that is hard to digest is given with triphala and trikatu. Triphala, trikatu, honey, ghee. Things that make the herb easy to digest are also given. So if we know, and for example, when I used to make my own triphala, I would basically get 3 packets, put haritaki, vibhitaki, amla in 3 different bags. And then I would say, mix half a teaspoon of each and have it. And then if it was a pitta person, I will tell them, you tell them, take 2 amla berry, 1 vibhitaki, 1 haritaki. If it was a vata person, I would say take 2 haritaki, 1 vibhitaki, 1 amla berry. Do you know what I'm saying? Because haritaki is best for vata, amla berry is best for pitta, vibhitaki is one of the top herbs for kapha person. So I'm going to save this so you have something to go back to if you have someone with any of those agnis. And it's pretty safe to be given to anyone. Obviously you want to avoid someone who has very bad diarrhea, but it's pretty safe to be given generally to everybody. Okay, so I've saved this, and then there is a class on Tuesday on Marma points, and then of course we have our class on March 25th. It's not an actual class. You guys are just presenting your client encounters. And before you go, I have saved this. I just want to make sure you guys are watching this, and you should watch it. Give me 1 second. So if you look at, can you see this? I'm in the workspace right now. on here you have the Tadosha's video, women support videos, and in the bottom is client encounter lesson videos. There's 28 videos in there. I'm not expecting you to watch all 28, but at least watch the first 14. Watch the first 14 videos, if you can. It's going to give you a huge, great idea. So please watch it. We do have from March 25th onwards to April 3rd or April 2nd. I think it's Easter. So we have spring break. There are no classes. So that would be a good time to finish all your assignments if you have, and also watch all these recordings. And then, of course, starting first Saturday of April, I would say that would be April 7th, I think, is you're going to have classes on Saturdays in April because it's term 2. So first 14 videos, if you could watch it, that would be fantastic. This is, and another way you can save it forever is if you want to bookmark it, click on the YouTube and just bookmark this link. Just bookmark this link, save the link as classes or whatever, and save. That way you don't have to log in to watch it if you want to watch it again and again, right? All right, I hope you had a nice class. I'll see you Tuesday.